Persona 5 downright oozes style. From the moment the game is turned on, we're greeted to a beautiful anime opening sequence partnered with the song Wake Up, Get Up. After this, a train transitions us to the title screen and the groovy bass of the song Phantom begins to play, priming us for the engrossing beginning of the game. You know, if a game can imprison your attention before you even select new game, it's going to be something special. Persona 5 is part RPG, part visual novel, neither of which plays second fiddle to the other. It's a very long game stretching towards triple-digit hours, in which you're switching back and forth between the demonic world of the palaces and the delightful, yet also somewhat demonic city of Tokyo. The story is always pushing forward. While it isn't strictly episodic, it almost feels that way in its structure. The Phantom Thieves, that's you, find a target they want to take down, dive into their palace, steal their treasure and then move on to the next. That's not the extent of it, however. You'll spend a lot of time on each target, and as you do, other seeds of the story are planted, giving you a tease for what's to come. New confidants and party members will show up all over the place, but won't take their place as the main character until the time is right. While the story is constantly moving, the game somehow leaves you with enough time to have a few moments of downtime, and these are honestly some of the best moments in the game. Although your main objective is to take down the targets in the allotted time, the game will encourage you to take your time and just chill out like the school kid you are. You'll often have to juggle dungeons and hanging out with friends, making yourself a better person by watching films, reading books, studying for your exams, and going to a randomly generated dungeon. Everything you do gives the player growth. It can be a struggle just to manage everything and to make sure you can get everything done that you need to do, and that you're well prepared for it, kind of like real school. Of course, none of this would be much fun if you didn't like the people that you're doing it with. Before you're able to hang out with your friends, the game's main story cutscenes spend a large amount of time giving you a reason to want to hang out with these people. The great characterization makes you want to like them. It makes you want them to like you back, and this even spreads to making you want to give everyone their fair time in the party during dungeons. Not only this, Persona 5 is a great example of a silent protagonist done right. The protagonist, who you can name, has a personality of his own, but the multiple choice questions allows you to project some of your own personality onto him as well. It lets you somehow see yourself in him. Getting a question wrong in school and being ridiculed by the other kids can actually affect the player. It's not him getting the question wrong, it's you. Now let's talk a bit more about the RPG elements. The battles are a lot of fun with the way that you have to focus on the enemy's weaknesses and baton pass with your party members in order to knock all the enemies down. Then there's the collect them all aspect with the personas that can get pretty addictive. Their designs are based on human ideas and mythology, something that NPCs will sometimes bring up, showing the connection between the twisted demonic world and the real world. Actually talking to the monsters like they're real people, which they technically are, is a unique challenge that can be both super rewarding and frustrating, in a positive way. Multiple methods of creating new personas means you'll likely be gaining new partners throughout the whole game. The game's dungeons, or palaces as they are known, all have their own theme specific to the final boss of that palace. They're not dungeons at all in a sense, but are warped versions of real life locations that are a blast to explore. While the game's regular enemies aren't too hard to take down if you take the time to determine their weakness, bosses are a different story. The final boss of each palace is always a challenge, with new strategies and will usually take a long time to defeat. Their strength somehow seems to be on par with your own, making each encounter with a palace's leader a challenging and nerve-wracking fight. The standout factor in the entirety of Persona 5 is the presentation. It's the little things that we might not even pay attention to in other games. The little things like entering a battle, or the victory screen, or even the main menu. The soundtrack also never lets up. Of course, there are several battle themes that have you dancing and singing to yourself while you fight, but even the tracks that play while you're just chilling at your house, wandering Tokyo, or buying weapons are stellar tracks that never get boring. This adds to the fact that every little detail in Persona 5 is super stylish, and it's likely a large contributing factor to why people are able to stay interested in this really long game all the way to the end. For these reasons, I believe Persona 5 worthy to be placed into the Hall of Game. Thanks guys, and I hope you enjoyed another episode of Hall of Game, and as always, a few hours after this video is uploaded, I'm going to be streaming the game on Twitch, and seeing as it's Persona 5, I'm going to stream it for quite a while so I can show off hopefully a lot of the visual novel and RPG elements. So come by my Twitch if you want to see me stream some Persona 5. Anyway, as always guys, have fun, playing video games.